What's going on, everybody? Welcome into the Jets Report. My name is Patrick Siepman, and coming up on today's show, we're going to be talking about day 2 of New York Jets minicamp as the biggest star from this practice was Garrett Wilson. He was absolutely dominating, so we'll talk about him. And then also the Justin Fields, Garrett Wilson connection. I'll tell you what, if you guys are some fantasy football players, Garrett Wilson might end up being a first-round pick when it's all said and done because he's going to get a majority of the target share. And obviously, with how talented he is, he should be set up to have a big year. But also, Breece Hall. Are the trade rumors finally dead? Aaron Glenn talked about it. And then also, Sauce Gardner. Could he be taking another step? We'll break it all down on today's show. But before we do so, we desperately need your guys' help here. And if you guys have not already, please go down there and hit that subscribe button. We have been in a sub battle versus the Packers report for the last couple of weeks, and they finally took the lead. So we need your guys' help. If you guys could, hit that subscribe button today. If we could at least just get to 7,100 subs, I'd be feeling confident moving forward. But please hit that subscribe button if you guys want to stay up to date on the latest around New York, on your New York Jets. Hit that subscribe button today. All right, so we're going over a bunch of different tweets and quotes from a bunch of the beat reporters at Jets practice. So shout out to all of those guys. But Ralph Facciano saying two observations from 2 days of Jets minicamp. One, QB Justin Fields has a rocket arm and is capable of some impressive precision passes. He may often follow those by sailing throws high and wide. Two, Garrett Wilson might get targeted 200 times in the offense this season. Now, both those aren't really a shocker to us here. We know Justin Fields, like, he'll make some wild plays every once in a while, but then, like you were saying, he'll follow it up with some of those what the F are you doing throws. And then we obviously know Garrett Wilson, he is going to get majority of the target share, but also those guys were connecting all day yesterday. Zach Rosenblatt saying, wow, Justin Fields with a perfect deep ball to Garrett Wilson just now, right in the breadbasket over the head of tight coverage by Brandon Stevens. Wilson hauled it in around the goal line. And then also Rosenblatt saying Garrett Wilson had a sick juke move after a catch. He's unstoppable in these practices. And then Brian also saying Garrett Wilson has looked terrific all spring. He is killing the defense today. And, that doesn't shock me whatsoever. Like, Garrett Wilson is hitting his athletic prime right now. Year 4, we really see these wide receivers take that next step and really start popping off. And I think with Wilson having that connection with Justin Fields dating back to the Ohio State days, you would assume that would just continue to grow. And it's fantastic that they're getting these high-quality reps this time of the season because it's not like they're going up against a Jets defense that, is lackluster or lack of talent. Like, they got dogs over there, Sauce, Quinnen, all those guys. And the fact that Fields and Garrett Wilson are able to connect on some big-time plays, like, that is very encouraging news for Jets fans heading into the season. But also, Jets fans, we know the Breece Hall trade rumors have been kind of ludicrous, and we'll talk about those here in a second. But Breece was also talking about Justin Fields, saying this: he is real cool, calm, and collected and brings a sense of calm to the offense. Just seeing how he works and how diligent he is and how he cares. He's trying to get relationships with everybody, and how he goes about his business has been fun so far. He's got hype just like everyone else. He's young like us, so we talk about a lot of the same stuff. We can hang out on the weekends, and it's been cool to be around him. He's a good dude, and it already feels like the team is rallying around Fields. And if you guys have been watching the show for a while, we were telling you guys about this the minute after they signed him. Like, Justin Fields is a guy that can really spark together a locker room, and he's got this, contagious energy about him where people want to be around him. And, it does not shock me that the team is starting to rally around him. But also, Fields, he said he plans to get the wide receivers and tight ends together this offseason, which is cool because obviously today being the last day of minicamp, they got a long break until training camp. So still you want to build those connections and get those reps in. So they're going to try to put in the extra work. But more on Garrett Wilson here. Connor Hughes tweeting out, Garrett Wilson leads all Jets receivers with 7 receptions, Justin Fields passes, in the 2 minicamp practices. Fields has targeted him 10 times in team drills over the 2 days. And keep this in mind, so 10 times for Garrett Wilson, and then the other targets, 5 for Josh Reynolds, but then there's a huge drop-off. Taylor got 2. Gibson got 1. Breece got 1. Allen Lazard and Braylon Allen also got 1 as well. So, we've been talking about this for a while. Garrett Wilson, there may be the biggest drop-off in a receiver room in terms of the number 1 guy to the number 2 guy. Now, I still think the Jets wide receiver 2 position, you can kind of make it up in the aggregate with a bunch of different guys contributing to that spot. But there's no doubt Garrett Wilson, when the Jets are throwing the football, I mean, you would probably have to guess 60% of the time he is going to be targeting Garrett Wilson, at least just throwing it in his direction. So I'll ask you guys. Garrett Wilson has yet to go over 1,300 yards in his NFL career. Does it change this season? Over under 1,300 yards for Garrett Wilson. Give me an O for over or give me a U for under. Place your bets down below in the comments section. All right, so my favorite thing about Jets minicamp so far is actually nothing that happened on the field. It was off the field, and it was Breece Hall talking about the trade rumors. And he said, if people feel like you aren't doing your job, you're going to get replaced. But said Aaron Glenn called him to let him know he wants to be here. He told Breece, I don't want to trade you. You're our running back. And that's awesome stuff. And, Aaron Glenn, I remember that quote he was saying, I'm in the camp of keeping good football players on my team. And also, he's in the camp of getting younger, and Breece Hall fits both of those categories. But I'm just glad the rumors are done because, honestly, I'm sure Breece was just sick of it, hearing it all offseason, like, oh, he could be dealt here, he could be dealt there. Like, he is a guy where, people should rally around him. He's coming off a down year. Obviously, the Jets' rushing offense was terrible last season. They refused to run the ball. Again, I think that was more because of Aaron Rodgers, but I also have high expectations for Breece this season. Like, we know the calling card for this Jets team is going to be running the football and playing solid defense, and that starts with your running back, Breece Hall. You already have, in my opinion, a very good offensive line if they can stay healthy. So if he can just have a solid season, you would assume the Jets would have a top 15-ish, if not better, rushing offense in the league. But also the segment here on Sauce Gardner. Steve Wilkes was talking about him, saying consistent. He's been a Pro Bowl player. How consistent can he be to take it to another level? Said he challenged him on that on day one when they met. He wants him to be dominant every week. And that's definitely the biggest concern with Sauce, especially last year. I kind of felt like he checked out at the second half of the season. Now, not saying, or I'm not trying to give him a pass here, but also I don't almost blame him for checking out last season. Like, obviously he was bad, tackling last year, especially in, run support. But I have very high expectations for Sauce as well. And his goal should be to be known as the undisputed top cornerback in the NFL. Because right now, you could make an argument he is the best corner, but it wouldn't be undisputed whatsoever. But I want it to be like widely known after the season. Whenever you ask, your buddy, even if they're not Jets fans, hey, who's the best corner in the league? Everybody's saying Sauce Gardner. But also some more highlights on the defensive side of the football here. Jamie Sherwood, he had a sack and a PBU at the goal line. I can't wait to see how Steve Wilkes and Glenn are going to deploy this guy. I think he's going to have a more versatile year. They'll see him in a bunch of different ways. And, he's obviously got the athletic ability. If you're blitzing him, he can go hunt down the quarterback. We know he's great in coverage as well, flies around the football field. So I think he should have a massive, massive year as well. But then also great news on the rookie front here. Cornerback A.Z. Thomas, he had an interception off of Tyrod Taylor, which is awesome. This is a guy where I'm sure the Jets front office and this coaching staff, if maybe they had to pick one guy to break out this season in their rookie year, it might be A.Z. Thomas. Because if he has a good year, next to Sauce, still Brandon Stevens working in, and you have that front seven, you got the good linebacker core, like you're probably thinking this defense could be top 10 in the league. So seeing him making plays, I think that's great news for the Jets. And I'm just excited to watch this rookie class play because you could legitimately make an argument. You got 5 guys that could be starting week 1. Membu, Taylor, A.Z. Thomas, Malachi Moore, Arian Smith. We could see 5 rookies, be put in a starting role right away. So hearing that he's playing well, I think it's great news for Jets fans. But if you guys are excited about the season, 3 months away, dog days of the offseason, but we're still getting a little juice here at Minicamp. But if you guys are fired up for it, hit me with a me down below in the comments section. Also, hit that subscribe button on your way out. Help us beat the Packers report and erase the 10,000 subs. And we will see you guys next time. As always, go Jets.